Hello guys, Hugo's here. Today let's talk about Zhiyun CRANE-3S, and this is gonna be a tough one. I was gonna make a review about this 2 months ago when I bought it, but in order to make a fair review I had to make more tests that took longer than I anticipated. In short words, I hate it and I love it. When this came out and I saw a promo video about it, I was blown away. How come this gimbal has so much payload and clearance for the price? Right away I ordered it, this CRANE-3S, and I sold my DJI Ronin S. I bought Ronin S specifically to use with my Canon C200. I wanted a small and compact gimbal, and there is not much bad to say about it. I think Ronin S is a great gimbal, but I was very limited with movements I could do with Canon C200 due to the limited clearance. When my CRANE-3S arrived, I started testing it and pushing it to its limits. First of all, I really like the build quality. They didn't compromise on the quality. It feels solid, and most importantly, it doesn't feel like it's gonna break easily. I put my C200 on it with a monitor and lens, and the clearance was enough to do the whole 360 spin. That's impressive, because now you can go from high mode to low mode and otherwise easily. After I put my red weapon with big and long Untitled Cine zoom and 7-inch screen and V-mount battery. The setup is pretty massive. I was able to balance it on all axes. Of course, it's not gonna do the whole 360 spin, but it's pretty much capable of doing 90% of movements you can do with the gimbal. I played with it all day and it all seemed fine, didn't see any issues. Next day I had an actual shoot where I had to use Canon C200 on it. Turned out that when I go to low mode and do a push and pan, gimbal starts vibrating. It felt like tension on the motor wasn't set right, so I changed it from medium to higher settings, and stiffness was too strong, and it didn't work too. It vibrated when I lowered the camera, and then I changed it to mid-heavy and it didn't have enough stiffness and didn't hold the camera well. So I had this problem setting up stiffness of the motors in order to find the ideal one, and it was really frustrating. And believe me, it's not the balance problem. I know how to balance a gimbal. I found that I had less problem finding the right torque on a heavier camera like Red. I was about to return the gimbal, but then a new firmware came out and it's almost fixed the issue. I still have the vibration sometimes, but it usually happens at extremely low angle. And I wanna say I can live with that, considering the price of the gimbal, because it's really cheap. So you see, it's not as ideal like pretty much every review video on the internet says about it. Another big issue is that it doesn't hold the horizon like Ronin S did. In shooting real estate, having a straight horizon is critical, and CRANE-3S is pretty much always tend to lean somewhere. With Ronin S, it was always straight no matter what. You can play with settings to fix a little bit, but it doesn't solve the issue entirely. What can I say? That despite all the issues I had, I wouldn't go back to Ronin S. CRANE-3S is still offer a lot more. Once you get used to its flows and just know when to expect them, you can get pretty great results. Recently I shot a music video in an amazing desert called Bonneville Salt Flats in Utah. And the idea was to show the performance of two incredibly talented dancers in one take, from the beginning of the song all the way until the end. I used this gimbal with fully rigged red weapon, with a follow focus system and wireless video, and it's really heavy setup. And by the way, I don't think I would have been able to do that music video this way if it was a lighter setup. Simply because the wind was so strong, it would push a lighter camera away, not letting me to make a smooth movement. Also, during the shoot I decided to give a try of the POV mode, and turned out that with this mode I could get the most interesting shots. The thing is that in using this mode the gimbal doesn't hold the horizon, it pretty much follows to wherever you point the gimbal, and it does it smooth. Sounds useless in theory, because this is the purpose of the gimbal. But in practice, the shot looked more like they shot on a Steadicam than on a gimbal, which is a really good thing. The movements are more organic, if it's the right word to say. It didn't look as robotic as gimbal usually do, and I think that mode can be used in many scenarios. So that's pretty much my feedback about the gimbal. I hope that information was useful. Thank you for your time. Bye.